And welcome to a new episode of Digital Coffee Gaming Brew. And I'm your host, Brett Deister. If you could please subscribe to this podcast on all your favorite podcasting apps, leave a 5-star review. Really does help with the rankings. And let me know how I am doing. But this week, we're going to be talking about Electronic Arts specifically and some of the Battlefield updates as well. I watched the multiplayer one, the one I actually really care about. Also going to be talking about PUBG and kind of the new stuff happening on that. And then kind of also going to be talking about the whole censorship and porn and the credit cards and how it's, well, good and bad, and how I agree and disagree with gamers at the same time. So let's get on with the show. That's good. All right. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your weekend, but let's get on with it. So, EA has announced that at this time they are not going to be increasing their games to $80 for the foreseeable future. We don't really know exactly when it's going to happen, but it will probably happen when they feel like they need more money, because that's usually how it is. So just get ready for it, guys, because it's eventually going to be coming, unfortunately. Do I want it to happen? No. Will it happen? More than likely, yes. So he also said that EA CEO Andrew Wilson stated during the company Q1 earnings that there are no changes to pricing plan. Currently, EA offers a broad pricing scheme across its products from free-to-play to premium and deluxe editions. Wilson emphasized the company's goal to provide value to players through various pricing schemes. The fiscal year for EA ends in March 2026, and the company has not factored in $80 games for this period. So we got until 2026 of next year, and then we'll figure out if they'll do it next year. The chief financial officer confirmed that there is no change in pricing guidance for the current fiscal year. So rejoice with this, gamers, because we actually have at least confirmed for the time being that there's no different price changes to this whatsoever. It's a good thing for all of us that they keep the prices the same, and I hope they don't actually change it, but you never really know. But at least for Battlefield 6, it looks like it's not going to be an $80 game unless you buy the deluxe premium or whatever edition they're going to be calling it for that foreseeable future. All right, moving on to Krafton. It aims to transform PUBG into a gameplay platform. Also, I have to note that EA is looking to put Battlefield 6 as a platform, too. Similar to Fortnite and Roblox, the company's chief financial officer, I'm not even going to say his name, discussed the vision during an earnings call. Bay stated that in the age of PUBG 2.0, the game will not just be a battle royale. Krafton is developing various modes as part of the transition. A significant aspect of this change will be involve switching to Unreal 5, which will facilitate user-generated content. Krafton has been discussing the transition to Unreal Engine 5 since March 2024. So I also stated that EA is looking to make Battlefield 6 a quote-unquote platform as well. To be perfectly honest, I don't want anything to be a platform. I just want it to be a fun game. That's all I really care about. That's what everybody really cares about. Is it a fun game or is it not a fun game? And I'm really just kind of lost at this whole, like, we need to build a platform. It's kind of like the multiverse or the connected universe or whatever the superhero movies do, where everything has to be like a tangent of a storyline. And it worked for a certain amount of time, but it becomes overwhelming because you have so many different superheroes. Just like all these quote unquote games turning into platforms, I just want a fun game. Battlefield 6 needs to be fun. I don't care if it's a platform or not. It just needs to be fun, because that's the most important part of this. If you can't make your game fun, no one's playing it. So it doesn't matter if it's a platform or not. It doesn't matter about the microtransaction, Ubisoft, I'm looking at you. Because if it's not fun, no one will play it, no one will buy it, no one will buy your stupid microtransactions. So I get it that you want to turn it into Roblox and Fortnite, but remember, they did it first. Well, Fortnite did it first. Actually, I think Roblox did it first. Fortnite followed, but there can only be so many different quote unquote platforms. and then nobody cares because they just want a fun game. That's really about it. All right, moving on to the multiplayer reveal. So I actually did watch it. That's why I waited to actually record this episode, because I could actually like watch it. I've been watching gameplay videos as well from streamers just to kind of actually see the gameplay of it, not kind of this gameplay / CGI trailer / easy mode, because they're trying to make it cool and epic, which it was very cool and epic. My initial feelings is, well, it's good. It's a return to what it should have been when Battlefield 2042 came out. Apparently it's going to be in the near future, 2027, so not too far off, since it's coming out in actually October. So it's not too far in the distant future. There is a remastered or reimagining of Firestorm from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Well, it's originally from Battlefield 3, and then Battlefield 4 did basically a remake of the map, and then they'll do it again. I was quite surprised they didn't put Caspian Border, because that's also a beloved map from Battlefield 3 era. I also thought it might have been Gulf of Oman, but it was Cairo, so I was like, okay, well, sure. So it looks like they're going to have several different maps. They're going to have Rush. They have a new one called Escalation, Breakpoint, Conquest as always, Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill. And I think that's about it. The only one they still have not tried to, again, is Titan mode, which really is only good on Battlefield 2142. So we have that going for us. So a lot of different modes. Don't care about Deathmatch or Team Deathmatch or King of the Hill. Really only care about Conquest, but the other ones sound interesting. Oh, there's Domination as well. I forgot about that one. So you have several different modes. You have a single player, again. Probably play it once, not play it for a while again, then might play it again. For the most part, Battlefield games, you don't really play the single player over and over again. You play it once, you're like, okay, that was interesting. All right, now onto the multiplayer. You're also going to have classes. Looks like there's going to be there's no specialists. They all have like face coverings on their faces, and it just looks like a normal soldier, which what we wanted before, stupid specialists in Battlefield 2042. So they are listening to that. From the gameplay I saw, there is a scoreboard. So we do have a scoreboard. There's jets, there's helicopters, there is tanks, there's jeeps. And the interesting part about vehicles is that you can also have your squad mates hang on to the side of the vehicle to have them all be rushed over, not just 4, and then you're kind of like, have fun running, that type of thing. Now, there is no real class-specific weapons, which I wish they would have done, but oh well. That's not really much you can do about that. But they do have, like I said, assault, support, engineer, and recon. Support basically is going to be either the medic or the resupply, I think. I'm not really quite sure if they resupply or not, but they are the medic. Assault will actually have an additional primary weapon, and you have adrenaline shot, I guess, to help you stay alive. There's a bunch of things with that. The support has, you can revive, or you have the defibs, I should say, you can revive. You can also drag a man away from the battlefield to get them revived as well. You also have the engineer that can repair. They also have mines. Apparently now you can put one mine down. So there's that as well. And the recon is a recon specialist. It has the UVA. It has the laser designator type of a thing. So just 4 classes, not like 4 where there was 5. There was assault, medic, support, recon, and engineer. There was 5 of them. They just basically blended support with medic. So the support is now just the medic and the support, because the support does do the machine guns. Each specific class has a trait for the specific category of weapon. So assault is better at the assault rifles, engineer is better at the SMGs, the support's better at the LMGs, and the recon's better, I think, at the DRMs or sniper rifles. I'm not really quite sure about that one. So that's just kind of the rundown. Now it's supposed to come out October 10th, and there's going to be a beta starting the 7th through the 9th. I think it says early access, and then there's going to be a few more weeks where you can play the actual open beta. You don't have to buy anything this time around. If you signed up for Battlefield Labs when they first did it or before today, they will give you access to the early access, I think it is, or you can watch streamers probably on Twitch to unlock the early access if need be. So there are multiple ways to actually do this if you want the early access, or you can just wait and you can actually play the open beta. So it should be interesting to see if it's going to be any good. This is a bigger risk because they aren't doing any kind of like buy this or pre-order this to get to unlock it or unlock the beta, which they've done before. So we will see if this is going to be good or not, because I am happy that they've done it in this direction. I think this is great. Destruction's back finally. You can destroy most of the building, if not all the building. You have just, it looks really pretty, but I mean, all Battlefield games look really pretty. I mean, look at Battlefield 1. Still looks great today. So, I mean, that's not like a big criteria, but it does look like it's going in the right direction. It does look like it's back to form. I really wish they would have just done class-specific weapons, but oh well, can't get everything you want. They do have a firing range in this now, so if you want to test out your builds, you can go in the firing range and test it out, which is a nice thing. It's basically taken from Delta Force, what Delta Force did. You can also customize your weapon. You have about 100 points, and each one has varying amounts of points to do it, to put on your weapon. So there you go. There is some type of omni movement, but not really. It's very interesting. You can slide. You can obviously go prone. You can, looks like jump out of a window. It looked like someone was running and jumped out of a window and rolled. So that was interesting to see that one. So it looks like the slide's still there, but it's not as like crazy as Black Ops 6 was when they released the Omni movement. I wasn't really a big fan of it. It was kind of annoying and just, it seemed like more of a gimmick than actually really anything good, but people are still playing it. So more props to them. So that's all we really know about it until I can get my hands on it on August next month, which is really, really soon. I think it's the 7th, so about next week. Really won't know much. I think I'll be able to get early access. I'm not really quite sure how they're going to do it, to be honest with you. I might just have to watch a streamer like everybody else, but it looks like everything's in the right direction. Now, we'll see when we actually play it, and I actually play it, because, I mean, even at these events that they do with the big spectacle and everybody's going to be excited. It's going to be fun. And then it really gets into the nitty gritty of like, is it really fun? Is it really back to form? To me, it seems like it is, but I'm just watching either streamers play, or I'm having the dev create a real in-game and then CGI kind of differences with it. So you really don't know. All right, moving on to NetEase, and well, they're going to start monitoring your in-game chat. So if you are a foul-mouthed person that says foul-mouthed things, this game's not for you. But it seems like everybody and their mother is doing this stupid thing because it's 2025, I guess. I don't really know. I would rather you not monitor my chats. I'd rather you just make a good game and like leave me the hell alone. If someone doesn't want to listen, which I've done before, I mute them. I don't need you hand-holding me. There's no point to this. It just adds more resources to you guys. That's the funny part about development. They whine about how expensive it is, but then they do these extra stupid little things that no one really wants. And they're like, well, it's so expensive, the production and the development costs. And I'm like, well, then stop doing all the extra stuff. Focus in on the game. Focus in on making the good games. Focus in on making tools. So if we don't want to avoid or mute somebody, we can. But come on, you're playing a competitive game. It's going to get frustrating. It's going to get spicy, because that's what competitive games do. If you don't want a competitive game, if you don't want spicy chat, don't make a competitive game. Make a non-competitive game, which I don't know what really that would do, or what that is. But that's my issue with this. Now they're going to start monitoring, or they already started monitoring July 24th, 2025. So be prepared, everybody. They also introduced custom word filters will be introduced in 3.5 or season 3.5. So with Blade coming to Marvel Rivals, they will do that as well. So be prepared to be banned if you say naughty things that you're not supposed to say, because bad person. I get with kids that you want to have filters with this, and I'm more fine with that, but this is just not what we need. That's what really killed Overwatch as well, is that no one wanted to be in chat because no one wants to be banned for saying something wrong or potentially saying something wrong. And that's the issue, is that you just don't know if you're going to say something right or going to say something wrong. So I have a big issue with this. And I wish that they would not do this. Do something else way more important than this. Call of Duty does this. Battlefield does, or I'm pretty sure is going to be doing it. Overwatch does this. Nobody talks because nobody wants to be banned for saying something that is naughty at the time or bannable. So no one talks because no one really wants to deal with it. Okay. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this or not, but I think it is important to talk about this. So there's this huge thing with Collective Shout, which is a feminist group in Australia, I think. And they got mad because Steam has, porn games. You see it all the time in the top charts. There's a lot of porn games on the top charts. I don't get any because I think it's stupid and a waste of time. But hey, more power to you if that's what you want to spend your money on. I don't really care about that. And then they went to itch.io and they started removing them because Collective Shout basically complained to Visa, MasterCard, all the credit card companies. And they basically told Steam and all them that you have to remove these games or you will not be able to accept credit cards, which is a major problem with digital services like these, because you need to do that. You can't just like put your dollar bill in your computer. It won't work that way. So they started removing it and everybody's like, what the hell? Like, why is this happening? Why is this game removed? Now, I'm not in favor of porn games. I think they're stupid. I think they're a waste of time. However, I'm not in favor of credit card companies picking and choosing what you can and cannot play. If you're an adult, you should be able to play what you can and cannot play. If you're a kid, that's a different issue. And parents should be on top of this. And you should have the tools basically already in place to filter out those things. If they're not 18, you need to have tools for this. You need to monitor your kids. You need to make sure that they're on the family account so you can monitor the games that they're playing and make sure that they're on that so you know which games they're playing at the same time too. Be their friends on Steam. I don't really care, but do your best to monitor the situation. What I don't want is credit card companies picking and choosing which games are fine now and which games are not, because they could just be coming for Battlefield or whatever eventually, because it's the flavor of the month of terrible games that you should not be playing, but you actually like to play because that's what you want to play. Now, in the United States, the courts have decided that you can regulate porn. The courts have decided this because it's really not a collective good. It's not a collective good at all. It doesn't really do anything for you. It actually more harms you than does anything. But like I said, your life, do whatever you want to do with this. But my main concern is what everybody's main concern is. It's not about the porn. It's about what these companies say that you can and cannot play. Like, you're not my parent, Visa. You're not my parent, MasterCard. You're a brand, but you're a credit card company first, and you shouldn't be dictating what I play. That's not for you to decide. That's for me to decide. I'm the adult. I get to decide what I want to play, and if I don't want to play it, I don't buy it. That's the best way of doing it. And they used to do this for a long while. They just didn't seem to care, but then all of a sudden the feminists decided to get mad at this. I don't really know why they got mad at this, but they got mad at it because I guess Steam had a lot of the top games on Steam are porn games. It's weird, but a lot of them I've seen on like the top charts or the best selling sometimes are like 3 or 4 porn games. It's weird. And they're varying degrees of porn games because there's a lot, and apparently a lot of developers make a whole bunch of them. I don't think they take a lot of time to develop. That's probably why they do it, and they get a lot of money. So And they're not that expensive either. So you could see why that they actually are on the top of the list all the time, because no one's dating. No one's really having sex with each other, really. Mostly the Gen Z is not doing that. I understand why a lot of the guys aren't doing it, but Visa, MasterCard shouldn't be doing this. Have filters on it, have tools for parents to monitor their kids if they're under 18. And if they're over 18, well, buy what you want. It's not my issue. It's not my problem. I don't really care. But I don't want companies dictating. And that should be our main concern. But what do you think? Do you think it's fine that credit card companies just willy-nilly say what we can and cannot buy? Or do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for listening to Digital Coffee Gaming Brew. I really do appreciate it. And join me next week as I talk about what's going on in the gaming industry. All right, guys, stay safe. Get to playing what you want to play. Play some Battlefield 6 eventually when it comes out in open beta. And see you next week. Later.